And I know you keep asking me, flames and fire. I know you are done with, it's just fired. It's just fire. I was wrong, but I made it right. You came begging day and night. I don't wanna hit the bottom. Don't go out of your state of mind. I've been counting 1 to 10. I'll be back when you begin. With my music, I see. Yeah, I see you go down. Yeah, I see you go down. I see. Yeah, I see you go down. Yeah, I see you go down. And I know you keep asking me, flames and fire. I know you are done with me, it's just fired. I see you go down, yeah, I see you go down. I see you go down, yeah, I see you just fired. It's just fire. I know you keep asking me, flames and fire. I know you are done with me. It's just fire. Axel and Max Hurrell with Shots Fired. Welcome to the live version of College Football Week Preview. We are also live on my Facebook. If you guys are on Facebook, hello, to all my friends on Facebook. If you guys are on YouTube, that's actually not copyright. That is Axel and Max Hurrell, Shots Fired. It is non-copyrighted music. Trust me, I looked it up. So I guarantee you, you look after this stream is done, it will not be flagged for copyright. Anyway, welcome to College Football, both review and preview. We're actually going to be taking a look at both Iowa State and Iowa, since I'm in the state of Iowa. We're going to take a look at the two big colleges this week and who they're playing. We're talking about what kind of week we're going to have. YouTube feed is a little bit down. I think the only reason it's a little down is because of the fact, if you're watching this on YouTube, hold on. Hold on 1 second here. Shoot. Hold on 1 second here. I'm actually going to go to my girlfriend's phone for this. Not now. There it is. Oh, so you're good now? Yeah, we'll talk about that. Is everything good? I just used my girlfriend's phone, so is everything good right now? Or Facebook, we're checking the YouTube feed, so just give me just a moment here. Testing 1 2 3. Am I good? Lost Pupper, am I good?
Lost Pupper says I'm good. It's a little laggy. Oh, it's really laggy. Check the Facebook feed real fast. This is all good. I want to make sure that this is all good. Is everything good? Okay, so Facebook and YouTube are both off by a little bit, but I mean, hey, that's okay. Still good? Okay, let's just go ahead and get this underway then. So that if we have issues, I know Lost Pupper will let me know. But let's go ahead and talk about the week in college football. Let's actually talk about the first. Let's talk about what's going to happen this week, which is rivalry week. Everyone looks forward to rivalry week. We got Ohio State, Michigan. We got Iowa, Nebraska, Iowa State, Kansas State. Who else do we got? Georgia, Georgia Tech, Alabama, Auburn. What else? Florida, Florida State. We got a bunch. Oklahoma, Oklahoma State. We got a big list of teams playing this. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this. We no longer have Idaho as a rivalry for Boise State, so they no longer have an official rivalry to actually play. So they're going to be going up against Colorado State this week. But first off, I want to talk about the new rankings that just released over the week. We're actually going to, let's take a look at the rankings. We're going to start off by going from 25 up to the top, to 25 up to 7, and then we'll go down from there. So 25, Appalachian State dropped 1 from their last rank from last week. Virginia Tech, the newest team in the top 25, who was non-rated, but now that they're back in, let's hope maybe they'll stay in. We'll never know. Next up is Iowa State, who dropped 1. The only reason they dropped 1 is because of the fact they just got done playing against a not-so-good team who's not even going to be bowl eligible this year. So you got to be worried about that. Iowa State, yes, their resume is actually good enough so that it keeps them in a top 25, with losses to Oklahoma State, Baylor, and Iowa. You got to remember, all 4 of those games were by 1 possession. Yes, the Oklahoma State, yes, it was more than just 1 point. But Iowa State could have easily won all 4 of those games. They could easily be undefeated. You got to remember that. And then coming off their big win against Texas, basically a statement in the Big 12, Iowa State has now defeated all the Big 12 members besides themselves. You can't count Iowa State playing against themselves. So that's just weird. They are now defeated all the Big 12 members in the past 4 seasons, which is incredible. Usually, Iowa State has never been able to defeat Oklahoma or Texas or TCU or Oklahoma State. They are now a contender for a Big 12 title in the next couple of seasons. Be aware of that. I'll get to more Iowa State later on. Let's continue going through the top 25. Next up is the USC Trojans. They're actually, them and Iowa State just basically swapped places. Let's take a look and see what they did. Excuse me. It was their win over Georgia Tech. Now, they're one of their losses that wait, how are they back in the top 25? They started out the year at number 11. Whoa, wait a minute. Heck? Hold on one second here. What? It's like showing me USC's already played all their games. Which is not true at all because I know USC still got one game to play. No, USC is done for the year. So USC is actually done for college football this year. Other than their record, which puts them bowl eligible. So they are looking for the bowl for their upcoming bowl game. They finished 4. So they're done for the year. 8-4, top 25 ranking, good year for the USC Trojans. Next up, we have Oklahoma State, who has one more game, and we'll talk about that. USC honestly doesn't deserve to be ranked. They're trash. Minnesota, yes, we'll talk about that as well. Lost Pupper on YouTube. If you guys on Facebook, I'm a YouTuber. Go check my channel out. It's TMoneyTCG. If you guys want to watch me instead of actually listen to me, go ahead and look me up on YouTube. I'm currently live on that as well. And for people on Facebook, on YouTube, I won't my Facebook up. If you know me on Facebook, go ahead and also follow me on Facebook, on YouTube, excuse me. Go ahead and follow me on Facebook if you guys do know me personally. But yeah, let's continue with the rankings. Oklahoma State, they got one more game this week. And like I said earlier, it's Bedlam. Oklahoma State, the battle for the state of Oklahoma. That's usually one game I always look forward to every year. Next up, we're just gonna gun through the rest of them, and then we'll gun through the rest of them. Number 20, we got Boise State 10-1, Cincinnati 10-1 at 19, Memphis 10-1 at 18, Iowa at 8-3 at 17. They are the high. Well, they're second highest with 3 losses. And honestly, no offense to Iowa fans. I know Sportsman for Life, you're an Iowa fan. Don't take this the wrong way. You guys should not be that high. Yes, you did start out the year undefeated. That I can understand. Now you move into like the Big Ten play, and that's where the rankings like, wait, hold the hell up. How are you guys this high? Yet, well, hold on one second. I'm just going to mute this because I could probably. Yeah, there we go. How are you guys so high yet have 3 losses to ranked teams? 2 losses to ranked teams, excuse me. Your only win to a ranked team is against Minnesota. How are you ranked so high? Don't get me wrong. It's awesome seeing Iowa this high as an Iowa State fan because the fact that Iowa has had a really weak schedule. They played Wisconsin and Penn State, lost both games, plays Minnesota, and they cream them. You cannot be ranked this high when you've only had 1 win against a ranked opponent. You also lost to Michigan, so it is 3 losses. 3 losses to ranked teams plus 1 win. You're 1-3 against ranked opponents this year. How are you ranked this high? Let's continue going down the list. Notre Dame at number 16, Auburn 15, Oregon 14, Michigan 13, Wisconsin 12, Florida 11, Penn State 10, and now we're in the top 10 with Minnesota, or with Baylor at 9, Minnesota at 8, the almighty Oklahoma Sooners at 7. Yes, I said almighty because they're going to be, I'm going to give you a little insight on that here in a little bit. Utah at 6, Alabama at, no, stop there. Back up. So now we're at 6. Or now we're at 7. Let's go up and go down. Number 1 ranking in the nation, belongs to a new team, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, let me give a little insight on that for a little bit. How the heck is Ohio State higher when LSU's beating Alabama? Yes, Ohio State's about to go up against Michigan. That's like, you can't do that. You cannot put Ohio State above LSU when LSU has beaten Alabama. Like, come on, guys. And then you have LSU at number 2. How do you flip those two? Give me the resumes of what they got, so then I can understand. Even if you still give me the resumes, I'd still be confused, because the fact LSU has beaten what was the top ranked team in the nation when they played them before the college football playoff rankings were released, and then they drop after blowing out Arkansas. Excuse the hell out you. Next up is Clemson at number 3. I don't see how you rank the national champions at number 3. But then again, I can also see the fact that they didn't have much of a good schedule this year. So I cannot give them props on that one. Georgia at 4, the last team in the college football playoff. Let me give them a little insight on that one. How do you give Georgia a higher rank when they lost to an unranked opponent that doesn't even have a good record? I'm actually going to take a look at the record here for South Carolina after that loss, because South Carolina doesn't even have that good of a record. When Georgia played them, they were 2-3. South Carolina is now 4-7. How is Georgia in the college football playoff? I'm not the playoff committee. I cannot explain this, but I can complain about it. Cannot deny me for complaining about it. The first 2 teams out are Alabama at 5 and Utah at 6. Yes, Alabama should be out of the college football playoff. So Alabama, I got a guy here that's actually commenting on YouTube. If you guys are watching this on YouTube or listening to this on Facebook, Lost Pupper 123 says South Carolina has been trashed since Clowney left, which was their head coach, right? I believe it was their head coach. Lost Pupper confirmed that for me. But yeah, I want to point out why Georgia is still in the top 25. It's not the top 25, excuse me. Yes, it should still be in the top 25. Because you lose when you were that high. You shouldn't drop all the way down. You shouldn't drop all the way down when...
Mom's waiting for you.
No, this is defensive end. Okay, that's why they're trash. But how is Georgia so high when... Mom. Just tell her to be out in a minute.
Hello? She's finished getting dressed and she'll be out. Alright. I'll be back.
I got him right here. Well, they're over there somewhere. Oh, there could be some in here too. Oh. Will these work? Hold on 1 second, guys. Okay, now that since we got through the top 25, I'm going to initiate an intermission so I can give myself a little bit of brain talk. I'm going to bring up that one song that we did. I'll be right back, guys, after this advertisement. I'm not going to play this. Let me get this advertisement. Oh, anyway, I'll be right back, guys.
disconnected and tired. I see I see and I know you keep asking me flames and fire. I know you are done with me. It's just fired. It's just fired.
Damn it. Right here. Right.
I was wrong, but I made it right. You came begging day and night. I don't like the bottom. Don't go out of your state of mind. I've been counting 1 to 10. I'll be back when we begin. I see you go down. Yeah, I see you go down. I see. Yeah, I see you go down. Yeah, I see you go down. And I know you keep asking me.
Or message me when you're done.
You are done with me. It's just fired.
I'm the live man Facebook. So YouTube's still going. Facebook is just being covered by a phone.
It's just fire. I know you keep asking me flames and fire. I know you are done with me. It's just fired.
And we're back from the intermission. I kind of really needed to do that. Kind of got a little crowded there, right there. All right, we're back. Let's go ahead and continue. Why don't we start talking about the two local colleges of Iowa and Iowa State, what they did last week and what they're going to do this week. So first, they'll be taking on Nebraska this week for the Ivy Heroes game, which is which is like a really big rivalry between the two teams. It actually came into play. I need to turn some light on. Hold on 1 second. There we go. A little bit more lighting for us. I'm actually going to go ahead and turn this down. There we go. Okay. It's a little bit of a delay. So yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and just basically read off what's in front of me. So if I look down here a lot, it's because of the fact that this is behind compared to what I'm doing. Okay. So last week, Iowa hosted Illinois for senior day, and Iowa did pull off the win 19-10 over the Fighting Illini, who did pull off an upset earlier this year against Wisconsin, by the way. Nate Stanley went 18 for 35 for 308 passing yards with 1 interception. He didn't throw a touchdown pass. So that's kind of interesting to point out. And then Todd Goodson had 21 carries for 38 yards and 1 touchdown. And then Smith Marset had 4 receptions for 121 yards. So Iowa really didn't have that good of a game overall. But because of the fact that it's Illinois, they're already bowl eligible. So just giving them another loss doesn't really do much. They have the bowl eligibility already in hand. So yeah. And now let's go ahead and preview who they're playing up against. It's against the Nebraska Cornhuskers, who are 5-6. If they win, they're bowl eligible. So this is going to be tough. And it's in Nebraska. So let's go ahead and take a look at the two quarterbacks before the game starts. Nate Staley is 208 for 348 passing attempts for 2,639 yards, 14 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. His counterpart, 139 for 233 attempts for 1,906 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. So it's going to be a quarterback duel if you just look at the stats between these two teams. Iowa's favored by 5.5 points. Judging by looking at the last 5 games, Nebraska ended a long losing streak with Maryland last weekend, and Iowa is on a 2-game winning streak, winning against Minnesota and Illinois. So I think Iowa's going to got this game. If Nebraska can find a way to shut some things down here at Memorial Stadium, it is also home. It's also home field advantage for Nebraska. So if Nebraska finds a way to use the home crowd against Iowa, they got this win in the bag. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think Iowa's going to end up pulling off this win. But with Nebraska shocks people. So, who am I kidding? Nebraska sucks. Moving on, we've got. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other games that's going to happen this weekend. Let's take a look at the game. The game. Number 1 ranked, Ohio State. Number 13, Michigan. You never put these two colleges together in the same sentence. Because I guarantee you some Michigan fans out there probably are watching this. If they are, probably hating me for saying Ohio State. And there's some Ohio State fans out there that hate me for saying Michigan. They want me to call them Michigan. Because they don't say the N. But I'm not a fan of either of these two teams, so Ohio State, Michigan, y'all can just back off a tad. Anyway, let's go ahead and actually preview this game. Ohio State, Michigan, it's at Michigan Stadium. Ohio State's an 8.5-point favorite. Michigan has the loss to Penn State, the win against Notre Dame, Maryland, Michigan, and Indiana. That was their last 5. They're 5-4. They're 4 for the last 5. And Ohio State's 5 for the last 5 as they are undefeated. No one has been able to come close to beating Ohio State. I mean, you can count Penn State, but I really wouldn't count that as coming close. It was still an 11-point ball game. That's as close as any team has gotten to beating Ohio State. So at their previous schedule, yeah, no team has gotten even close. So if Michigan's going to win this game, they're going to have to get ahead, and they're going to have to stay ahead. Because I was looking at Michigan's not as good. The win against the 2 wins against the non-ranked. The heck? Oh, okay. That was their non-conference opponent. Okay. So it's weird how the schedule is because I'm looking at this Iowa State. I'm an Iowa State fan in general. Iowa State usually has their non-conference games the first 3 games of the season. So looking at Michigan, seeing the non-conference the first 2 weeks, and then a conference game right after that, that just throws me off. But anyway, like I said, there are only 2 losses. Michigan is Wisconsin by 3 touchdowns, 21, 28, 35. Yeah. So 3 touchdowns. And then Penn State only by a touchdown. So Wisconsin was the one that had them beat thoroughly, like from top to bottom. Michigan had that game lost. So like I said, in order to beat Ohio State, they're going to have to pull something off. Where the heck is? So Michigan and Ohio State, I'm going to give... Oh, that's right. It doesn't rotate. I forgot I locked that. Actually, I'm going to unlock that because I actually do like looking at it this way. I'm going to give... I'm giving Ohio State the win on that one because the fact that they're the number 1 ranked team in the nation and they're going to go into Michigan. That crowd has not stunned Michigan. I can even take a look at something real fast while I'm thinking about it. And for the guys on Facebook, like I said, if you're new to listening, you know I have a YouTube channel. So if you guys want to watch me do these videos, I'm actually live on YouTube right now. So if you guys want to watch me do this, it's T-Money TCG. Go ahead and check me out. And also my girlfriend, Mystic Blue Queen. She's also a YouTuber. She talks about mainly her life. So if you guys want to check her out, she's basically open about her life. I want to look at something real fast because of... It's kind of... I don't even remember the last time Ohio State and Michigan... Or Michigan beat Ohio State. I don't remember. I have a website that I can look... Oh, look! And that's the game I'm looking for right there. Right there. Full matchup list. I don't like how it just does that. It's just like... Yeah, I don't like that. So the last time... Whoa, show all, please. The last time Michigan beat Ohio State... What the hell? Last time Michigan beat Ohio State was 2011. It's been Ohio State ever since. Vacated? Hey, can anyone explain... Lost Pupper, can you explain to me why 2010 Michigan Ohio State game was vacated? Can you find that for me? Yeah. This series goes all the way back to 1897, and they've played every year. They've played every year since 1918. So this game takes year 101. Michigan currently holds the series with 58 wins, 50 losses, and 6 ties. So they're going on 101 straight years, which is incredible. Going back to ESPN here. I'm going to give Ohio... Moving on, I'm going to just go through here. I'll close that. Gosh dang it, come on. There we go. Let's go ahead and just gun through some of them here real fast. Because I actually want to start wrapping this up. Let's go to Georgia Tech. This game is gonna be Georgia's make or break. If Georgia loses, unknown sources. Oh, okay. But Georgia Tech. This game is gonna be a make or break game for Georgia. If they lose, they're out. Oh, on the Ohio State side, gotcha. Georgia's a 28.5-point favorite. But I can't say Georgia Tech doesn't beat Georgia. But I can say Georgia has a tough time beating Georgia Tech. Throw the records out. This is about the ACC versus the SEC. This is a non-conference matchup that happens every year. And this time it's at Georgia Tech. I'm going to go ahead and take a look. I'm going to go back to this website here. Georgia. Taking a look at Georgia Tech. Georgia has won the last 2 meetings. The last time Georgia Tech won was in Athens, when Georgia Tech edged out Georgia by a score of 28-27. Like I said, I throw records out because of the fact that Georgia was ranked when that happened. And now Georgia's ranked. They have beaten Georgia Tech the past 2 years, 2017 and 2018. So they're going on the third straight year that they could win. And if Georgia does not win, I guarantee they're done. They're not in the playoffs. So be aware of that. It's a possibility. Yes, they're 3-8, but they could be the team that ruins Georgia's playoff chances. But they lost. But this time they're not going to. Let's move on. Let's talk about the Iron Bowl for a little bit. Alabama, Auburn. I made this statement on one of my YouTube videos a couple weeks ago. If Alabama loses to LSU, their playoff chances are shot. What happened? LSU beat them. Now we're in a game where it's win and you're in, basically. If Auburn pulls off this upset, Alabama is out of their first, is going to be eliminated from the college football playoff for the first time. And they'll be out of a championship chance since, oh God, I want to say 14. Because Alabama was crap. I can't remember. I think it was 14 when Alabama was actually out of a playoff chance. No. Yes. No. It was the first time the playoff actually was introduced. Because it was Ohio State, Oregon. That was the first time that Alabama actually missed out on the championship in the college football playoff. So it's been that long since Alabama has been out of the college football playoff championship. They get to be eliminated from the college football playoff in general. If Auburn wins, they're done. And guess what? That's what's going to happen. Auburn is a really good squad. Looking at their record, they're 8-3 with the 4-3 conference. Probably one of their losses being to the LSU Tigers and the Georgia Bulldogs, which I'm right. LSU and Georgia was 2 of their losses. Looking at their third loss, I want to say it was against, Florida. So Florida being their third loss, and all of those losses were against ranked opponents. So they're 2 and 3 against ranked opponents this year. Oregon being their first win. Why is it last year? Neutral location, that's why. So Oregon being their first win. Texas A&M being their second ranked win. And then it goes downhill, losing to Florida. LSU, who's now the second ranked team in the nation. Actually, who is currently still the second ranked team in the nation because that's when they lost. And then Georgia, who is the fourth ranked team in the nation at the time. So, how will they fare against Alabama? Here's the best part about this. Auburn's at home. This game is played every year because it's the Iron Bowl. You cannot eliminate the Iron Bowl from... You just can't eliminate the Iron Bowl. Because if you eliminate the Iron Bowl, you're eliminating one of the greatest college football games out there. And that's actually one of the matchups I can just pull up here real fast. Alabama won last year. 22-21. Sorry. Auburn. The kick 6. Won it. No, wait. Was it the kick 6 in 17 or was it in 13? I think it was in 13. And there's no one watching, so I can't look that up. I can't have them look that up. Yeah, Auburn. If Auburn wins, whoa, wait a minute. Hold on. I want to look at something. Because if Alabama has the top spot in the SEC division that they're in, they're already in the... No, wait a minute. Facebook, bear with me here. I'm looking at something. Ooh. LSU and Georgia are the SEC championship game. Wait, did Georgia beat Florida? Hold on. Quick look at something. If Georgia beat Florida, which they did, so Georgia is in the SEC championship game. So, basically what I'm saying is the destiny of Alabama does not lay in their hands. It lays in Georgia's hands. If Georgia loses to both Georgia Tech and LSU, they're out of the playoff. Alabama's in. But Alabama also controls their destiny. If they beat Auburn. If Auburn wins, their destiny is screwed. Alabama has to beat Auburn in order to remain in the college football playoff. And my prediction is they don't. Auburn has stud Alabama in the past. And if Auburn can pull off the upset again, then we have mayhem for college football, which is incredible. Because now it brings back 2011 here. Go back to 2011. It was a battle between LSU, Alabama, Oklahoma State, and Oregon. All those teams had a major loss that year. Oklahoma State lost to Iowa State 2 weeks prior, ruining their chances. LSU beat Alabama, which knocks Alabama off practically. Alabama loses to LSU. LSU actually went undefeated that year. I mean, Oregon had the stunner, or I don't know who they lost to, but I know they did lose that year. But anyway, let's continue moving on. I have Auburn winning that game, by the way. Talk about Baylor, Kansas. That's not even much of a rivalry. I don't even know why that's even the last game of the schedule. Put Baylor and Texas against each other. Wisconsin, Minnesota. That's a trophy game right there. Let's talk about that one. I know Sports Fan for Life is going to want to hear about this one. Sports Fan for Life, if you're watching this one you're going to like. Wisconsin takes on Minnesota. If Minnesota does pull off this upset, or Minnesota does pull off this win, I think they're in the Big Ten championship. I believe. Let me take a look. If Minnesota does pull off this win, because they're 7-1 in conference play. I'm right. If Wisconsin does pull off this win, they're in the Big Ten championship. Ohio State's already in. They're already in. Because there's no way they can lose 2 straight. Because they're already they have to lose to a phantom team in order to actually be out. But even if they did, they're still in because they beat Penn State. So basically what I'm saying is, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, if Minnesota wins, we have a new we have a possible new champion to crown in the Big Ten championship game. Because I remember a couple years ago, it was not Ohio State. It was not Michigan. It was not Penn State. It was not Wisconsin. It was Iowa, Michigan State. And those 2 teams, Minnesota, Wisconsin, basically are saying, if they're in, if they win, not if they're in, if they win, they're in the Big Ten championship game with a chance to knock off Ohio State and ruin their chance at a college football playoff. So basically, the winner of this game has the hands of destiny for Ohio State. If Ohio State does beat Michigan. Because you got to remember, Ohio State is the top-ranked team. If Ohio State does end up pulling off this win, does pull off the win against Michigan, then the destiny doesn't lie with them. Actually, it does lie with them, but it also is in the hands of the team that they play in the Big Ten championship game. So yeah, basically, this is the deciding factor on who goes to Indianapolis to take on Ohio State. That's going to be a good game. Who goes to Indianapolis though? Gonna be Wisconsin. Sorry, Minnesota. You had an incredible year. Trust me, you're gonna get a good bowl for it. I guarantee. Wait, you might even get the Rose Bowl. The person that's watching, what is the college football playoff games this year for the two semifinals? Look that up for me, would you please? So yeah, I think Wisconsin does pull off this win and guaranteeing them a spot in the college football playoff. Scrolling down through here, there we go. Let's talk about that one. Florida State and Florida. In Florida. At the Swamp, I should say. This isn't going to be a close game. Florida's going to win. But let's move on. Let's talk about the big game of the week. There's a lot of good games going on this weekend with Auburn, Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, and you also have Oklahoma State. Bedlam. If Oklahoma State does win, it ruins the college football playoff chances for Oklahoma. If Oklahoma wins, they have a shot. Oklahoma is favored by 13.5 points. But you do have to point out, this team has almost lost to two good opponents. Almost losing to Iowa State for one of them. Losing to... Who did they lose to? They did lose. They got one loss. Looking. Kansas State. I forgot about that. Oh, I'm dumb. So yeah, their one loss was to Kansas State. At Kansas State, I want to point out. So, both these teams, I do want to point out, they both have wins over Iowa State. Both of them were one-possession games. I just want to point out. Oklahoma's the one that got the luckiest. Because Iowa State scored the potential game-tying touchdown and then decided to go for two. First of all, yes, on the road, coaches think if you want to pull it off, you have to go for the win. Here's how I think. Iowa State's defense had the momentum going. They could have probably taken the game to overtime and win. So that's my opinion on that. Iowa State should have gone for the win against Oklahoma. That's my insight on that. I keep backing them too many times because the schedule on iPads, the ESPN. The schedule's all right here, which is weird. I can't just look at the games. I have to look at the news feeds as well. Is there a way I can just look at the games? There's no way I can just look at the games. Okay, that's fine. But, yeah. Oklahoma State. If Oklahoma wins, they're actually, it doesn't matter. They're already in the Big 12 championship. And so is Baylor. The Baylor Bears, Oklahoma Sooners, Big 12 championship. That's already been decided. So, Oklahoma, I think they're actually going to pull this one off. Scrolling through, what other good games are going on? I mean, I could touch up on Virginia Tech, but that won't be much of a game. Virginia is favored. Actually, Virginia is favored heavily. What? Okay, let me do touch up on this. According to ESPN, the matchup predictor, has Virginia at 64.5% over Virginia Tech's 35.5%. But scrolling down, looking at the spread, Virginia Tech is favored by 2.5. So this game is back and forth. Oh, I shouldn't probably pick this game because I could be wrong even if I do pick this game. Because let's say I pick Virginia Tech wins. Let's say I pick Virginia Tech, Virginia wins. It's one of those games where it's going to be hard to pick. Both teams had a loss. Okay, I see where their schedule lined up. Virginia loses to Louisville, and Virginia Tech loses to Notre Dame. So, sorry, guys. I'm getting a little tired here. I can't. I'm going to a hockey game here soon. Yeah, I'm going to just touch up on that. Virginia Tech, that's going to be a good rivalry. It always is. I think Virginia Tech does pull off this win, though. Because I'm going to just pick the ranked opponent. They're both 8-3, though. So this is a little bit of a tough. Yeah, this is why it's tough to pick. They're both 8-3. So if either team wins, you got the right opponent. Sorry, there's like things flying around me, and they're distracting me. So, why don't we go ahead and touch up on the final game we're going to do today, which is Iowa State, Kansas State. I got a couple minutes left on the YouTube feed because I gotta start getting ready to go to the Bucks game tonight. Iowa State back in the top 25 again for the third straight year in a row. That's accomplishment. Traveling to Kansas State, who got stunned last time they were there by the weird play that happened. So, if you guys don't know, what happened was Iowa State had the defensive stop. They had the defensive stop. Time expired. Game was over. Penalty was thrown on the defensive stop, giving Kansas State basically another opportunity to win the game. Kansas State capitalized. Quarterback took the snap, rolled out to the right, found his man in the corner. Kansas State won by 1 point. All Iowa State needed to do was not interfere with the receiver. They did. They lost. Still went to a bowl game. But yeah. This year, it's going to be different. The only thing that makes Kansas State better than Iowa State this year is that win against Oklahoma. I almost said Oklahoma State. It was against Oklahoma. But yeah. It's at Bill Snyder's Family Stadium in Manhattan, Kansas. The Little Apple. Iowa State is the one that's favored. Iowa State's going to get this win easily. If they can compete with Oklahoma and almost pull off an amazing upset, they got this win in the bag. So, yeah, I'm going to say Iowa State wins this game. There's one more game. I think there's one more game I do need to touch up on, though. I'm going to hold on real fast. Nope, that's all I'm actually going to touch up on. Wait, let me take a look. Is there any other big rivalries going on? I'm going to touch up on some non-top 25 games. like I said, it's rivalry week. So I'm going to look at some of them to see what big games are going on. West Virginia, TCU. Those are all on. Is that all Friday? Oh, Jesus. Oh, there we go. That's a good one. USF, UCF. UCF suffering their first loss this year in the past couple of seasons. Actually, suffering 3 of them, I should say. Not just 1, but 3 of them. UCF is actually favored heavily in this matchup. I am going to give the Trojans the win, though. No. They're the Black Knights. Right? The UCF Knights. Sorry. I didn't mean to call them Trojans. The UCF Knights, I'm going to give them the win over the Bulls. Yeah. I'm just going to do a quick touch-up on that one. Scrolling through, what other game is good? What other games are good this year? I don't think any of them are good this year for the rivalry week. Guess I could touch up on Oregon State. No, not really. Just going through. I guess I could also include Army Navy because that game is going to be in a couple weeks. That's the official end of college football. Army versus Navy. The battle of the military. Where did Navy go? Army is 5-6. Navy is 8-2. So Army's got to win their next 2 games in order to pull off this. In order to become bowl. Actually, they got to win tonight or this weekend before they become bowl eligible. They're in Hawaii today, or not today. Saturday, I should say. So Hawaii hosting Army. If Army wins, then they're bowl eligible. Hawaii's already bowl eligible. Hawaii rarely plays away from home. Okay, never mind. I lied. They usually play away from home because that's just long travel. That's a lot of traveling for just the team. Because they play on the islands of Hawaii, which is way west. So in order for them to actually, because they do host games. I'm not gonna lie, they do host games every year. Because I watched the highlights of the Arizona game back when that happened. Yeah, they do a lot of travel. Whoa, wait a minute. What the heck? Oh, so it looks like Boise State and Hawaii are actually the Big 12, the Mountain West Championship. That's cool. Gives another opponent a chance to get squandered by Boise State. But yeah, Army needs to win, and I think Army does win against Hawaii. And then they go to Navy. Actually, no, they don't go to Navy. They go to Philly, don't they? Yeah, the game's in Philly. Because it's always played at neutral site. The Naval Academy versus the Army. What are they called? Gosh dang it. Hold on, I'm looking. Army Black Knights and the Naval Academy. No, it's the Air Force Academy, sorry. Because Army and Navy always play against Air Force every year, I believe. Yeah, Army and Navy always play against the Air Force Academy. So, yeah, if Army wins, they get bowl eligibility. I'm going to give Army the win. And now I'll talk about the Army-Navy game, which that's only one game I basically have to cover. because next week are championship games, and then the week after that is just FCS games for the championship. We're gonna give. I hate picking against these two teams because they're both military, and I cannot pick against military. Basically, whoever wins, I'm like, yay. But yeah, so that's all I'm actually gonna do for this. Guys on Facebook, thanks for joining. You guys did end up listening for the whole thing. YouTube, if you guys are here, thank you for watching. And like I said, if I did cover your team, awesome. If I didn't, then I'm sorry. I wasn't gonna be able to cover every single game because I mean, it's a long list already, and there's already games that have already wrapped up on Tuesday. Oh wait, there is one more game I do want to cover. Hold on. Mississippi State, the Battle of Mississippi, basically. That's tomorrow night. It's Thanksgiving night. I'm gonna give. Well, Ole Miss won't be able to become bowl eligible this year. I'm gonna give Mississippi State the win on that one because I mean, might as well. I don't really care for that one, but thank you guys for joining the live stream on both Facebook and YouTube. If you guys like these, then go ahead and leave the like on both. I likes on YouTube. Thanks for the likes, guys. But until next time, guys, I will see you guys. No, thank you. I'll see you guys whenever I do then. I might do this for hockey. But until then, I'm out, guys. Peace out on YouTube and Facebook.